All right, y'all, 7:30. So shout out to people that came through. Again, I know that TBH is currently streaming, so a lot of people over there. But it's all good because, of course, this podcast will end up on the GI channel as always. Sorry for the delay. There's been a lot of things going on, a lot of schedule conflicts and whatnot. And Ace is also on his way to Vegas, so he can't make it tonight. But I will be taking his place for now. And, of course, we got Siggy and Flock with us.
What's up?
Say what's up.
Yo.
So
What up?
hope that y'all missed everybody. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. Oh, and thank you. You just reminded me, that person who followed. Thank you. Because I almost forgot to turn off those alerts. Thank you. One thing that I missed. Thanks to the person who followed. I appreciate it. Because you definitely helped out. Alright, so for all you sports fans up in here, let's go ahead and get started. So we missed a lot of good stuff in these sports, and I'm kind of heated, but at least we still have a little bit of news as far as the UFC world that we can talk about today. So Conor McGregor, as you all know, he did win the featherweight title, and now he has two belts, but he ended up getting one stripped away. There's a little bit of controversy there because Dana White said that Conor gave it away, but Conor McGregor turned around and said that they didn't take anything. It's at his crib. He told the UFC to pull up and take it off of him. Also, Conor McGregor decided to go to California and get a boxing license. So that leads everybody to believe that he is really serious about this fight with Mayweather. A lot of people have been talking about it. They've been trading shots back and forth. And I just don't know if this is really going to be a thing. So, Fly, we're going to start off with you since you actually box yourself, and I know that you do like boxing. Do you even want to see this fight? Would you actually see Conor McGregor fighting Mayweather in the ring for 12 rounds?
I mean, if it happened, I would probably tune into it. I don't think he really want to do that. I mean, it's just an old saying, like, everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth. And that's just what his plan is. You think you want some of that, dude? Like, this is what Floyd Mayweather does, and he's the best in the business at what he does. You just trying to get in the game, fam. Like, you don't want those problems. It's one thing if you trying to go after, Oscar De La Hoya or somebody like that. Like, come on, son. You don't want to do that. You gonna go out there, you gonna try to slug. Floyd's gonna make him look stupid, make him miss, and he's gonna tattoo him. He's just gonna paint him. Floyd is an artist out there, in the rig, man. He gonna stroke him with that brush, man, and he don't want no parts of that. I don't think he wants no parts of that. I mean, he probably do, because he just want money. But we know Floyd is gonna take the majority of that purse if it does happen. But why would he do that? Why would Floyd even entertain that?
Because of the money. You just said it right there.
I mean, yeah, but what does he have to prove? It's like a UFC guy comes over. I mean, how many of those UFC guys are certified as far as like boxing? I mean, they're trained at boxing, but they're not certified like a Floyd Mayweather or nobody like that.
Like, that's not their discipline.
Yeah.
They know how to box, they know how to stand up, but that's not their discipline to box.
Yeah, it's a difference between having a good stand-up game, like they like to say. He's got a good stand-up game, but when you standing in front of the best in the business, fam, you gonna look like everybody else that got in the ring with him. Foolish. That's the same thing. That's the same thing they said about Pacquiao. Then they try to say, "Oh, he ran from Pacquiao." No, he just ain't gonna sit there and trade punches with him all fight long. That's how you get knocked out. And Floyd don't want to, he don't want to end up like a lot of fighters that that went before him. So I mean, that's being a counterpuncher. You don't get hit and you hit him and you make him miss and you hit him. That's the nature of the beast. So I ain't mad at him. If you want to do it, if you want to fight him, that's fine. But I don't think it's gonna ever happen.
I think it will happen because of the money. I really do think if the Pacquiao fight was 350 million, was that what it was?
Something along those lines. Yeah.
Like, I think this could be 500 million because it's two stars of the Mayweather's still the biggest star in boxing, even though he's retired. McGregor right now is the biggest star in UFC. So if you have the two stars of these two sports go up against each other, even if it's an exhibition, which they won't promote as an exhibition, but I'm pretty sure Mayweather would maybe think of it as an exhibition, you can still get a lot of money.
But that's another question though.
How big is that guy McGregor?
As far as weight?
Yeah.
He teeters between like 145 and like 170. I know he went up to 170 in order to fight Nate, but he generally teeters around like 145, 155. Those would be
but see, if you fight Floyd, if he fights Floyd, he's gonna have to fight Floyd on his terms at his weight, which is 147. 147. So you gotta take, you take all that weight down. If he used to fighting in between 160 and 170, you lose all that weight. Now, boxing, a lot of people don't know that. That's a grueling sport and it's bad for your body. Because you have to constantly be at a certain weight, and then once you get that water retained and you balloon back up, probably the day of the fight, you're either gonna be too slow to keep up with him, or when you do lose that weight to get down, you're not gonna be strong enough to really do any damage, and he's gonna overpower you. So
he's better with lighter weight. We've known that because of Nate Diaz when he tried to go heavier.
Mm-hmm.
I think his biggest problem, McGregor, is he won't last long. We saw what happened with him against Diaz. He gets tired. So imagine 12 rounds. We already know what Mayweather's going to do. He's a defensive fighter. He's going to let Conor go all out for 2-3 rounds. McGregor's going to get tired. He's just going to play a defensive game. And then once McGregor shows that sign around, let's say round 5-6, then if he even wants to, it
he won't last that long.
Does. No, I don't think he would, but if it does, then Mayweather would actually start fighting him. But the one thing Mayweather knows for sure is that he is a defensive-minded kind of guy. So he's going to make sure that he gets worn out, period. And McGregor's not going to be able to last after that. So let's say he did. I would say 5 rounds. He could last 5 rounds. I mean, he's already lasted 5 rounds in UFC.
Right.
But he does get gassed easily. So he doesn't want that. McGregor doesn't like that, doesn't want that. And if he's fighting Mayweather's going to want that and force it. He's not going to go toe-to-toe if he doesn't have to. He's going to be dancing around. I know a lot of people like to say that's what it is, but he's a defensive guy. So he's just going to let him come at him. It's going to be like a rumble in the jungle, whatever. Let him use all his energy. And then Mayweather's just going to tactically wear him down.
He gonna beat his ass like he did Ricky Hatton.
He could. We saw, and then what was the fight that everybody thought that? What's the redhead, the Mexican guy? Remember whenever Mayweather was fighting him, everybody thought, well, this is finally the guy that's gonna be the stronger one that's gonna go after him.
Canelo?
Yeah, Canelo. That's what everybody thought. Everybody thought that. Okay, well, now Canelo's. Exactly. That's the kind of fight I see Mayweather's gonna do to him.
Everybody looks good against somebody else until you get in there with him, and then that's when you realize, you know what, this dude just isn't on the level, yo. That's just what it is, man. And it's no difference with this guy. I think he's 80% show and 20% go. That's just my take on him.
No, I agree. I don't, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, he can, he'll be able to punch him. He probably has more power, yada yada. I just don't see it happening. It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. He's not gonna be able to hit him. And the only factor that McGregor really has in the end is probably age. We just don't know what Mayweather's like now because it's been a few years, right? Was it 2-3 years now? But we know one thing about Mayweather: he can go ahead and train. He can get conditioned easily. He's somebody that's probably already doing it. So. Yeah, I think
that dude's about to be 40, so he's gonna be real conscious on the shit he involves himself with.
Right.
That
so
smart,
execution there. I'm gonna get to your point with what I'm about to say. So the main points why, if this fight even happened, McGregor will automatically lose. Siggy already brought it up about the rounds. I don't think he could last that many rounds. And you already brought up Mayweather being a defensive fighter. Now, while Conor McGregor is fast and he is a technical fighter, like he'll telegraph his punches before he actually hits you. Mayweather is way faster than that. Like, Conor McGregor has fast hands, but Mayweather has faster hands. So he's not going to get to him like he thinks he is. So those are the main points against him. And then, like, if it's all about the money, again, Siggy brought that up, he's not going to get 50% of the pot. Like, it's going to be like 60-40 or 70-30. Like, most likely it's going to be 70-30. So Conor McGregor wants to be the flashy guy. He wants to be all about the money. You're not going to get that much money if that's what you're really after. So it's not going to happen. And on top of that, Conor McGregor has lost 3 times. How many losses does Mayweather have?
0.
Exactly. So again, like y'all mentioned, Mayweather really, he has everything to lose with this, and the Conor has everything to gain. And then on top of that, you also brought the point about the belts. Like, what would this be for? What are we fighting for here? Because Conor McGregor has no boxing belts. If Mayweather put up one of his belts and somehow Conor McGregor wins it, then what? Like, what's going to happen? Like, I just feel like this is overall a fight that, again, solved nothing. It's just like the Nate fight. Nate fight didn't mean anything. It meant absolutely nothing. And then y'all had a second fight immediately after because Conor McGregor got humble for like a total of 2 seconds. And then he immediately went back to talking shit. And I still don't think that he won that match.
Him again. You know he'll never fight Nate again.
Yeah, I still don't even think that he won the second fight. Like, you got choked out the first fight. Yep. People just forgot about it like it didn't happen. It happened. It totally happened. You lost, Conor. You lost. You got humbled. You got bloody. You were fighting Nate Diaz, who gets bloody for a living, and he just sits there, takes the punches like, all right, can I have some more? And that's it. You didn't knock him out. You said you're gonna knock him out. You didn't knock him out. But overall, it still didn't mean anything, and you still haven't defended your belt. You won 2 belts, and then you had to get one stripped because not only are you going to have a kid, so you're going to take at least like maybe at least like 4 or 6 months off, but you still again haven't defended anything, and now you're teasing this fight with Mayweather, and then you want to stake in the company as well. So like, it's just too much going on with you right now. I wanted you to defend the belt, but you essentially ended up blocking 2 divisions, and then you wonder why Dana White had to strip you of your belt. It's because you're taking all this time off. Like, the show must go on. You're not the show, Conor. You think you are. And Dana gave you all your chances, but ultimately you can't do that, bruh. So it's just like, overall, like, the whole show, the whole theatrics, I'm just tired of it. I like Conor, but once you start talking shit to Aldo and then that flash KO happened, you essentially just screwed Jose Aldo over. They had to make the featherweight belt an interim belt, and Jose won it. So again, he just sitting there, and now that you got your belt stripped, now Jose is an undisputed featherweight champion, and now they're about to fight again with Max Holloway and Pettis for the featherweight interim belt. So all of this is just dumb. Like, what was the point? You didn't lose, but you didn't defend the belt. I don't get it at all. It makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense.
But see, can you imagine that though? All right, let's say somebody does promote this and it's an exhibition where it doesn't count towards Mayweather's record if he wins or loses, but he's still getting that money. Then they both would do it. You know what I mean? I mean, that's how they can make it work for both of them without anything on the line.
But I still don't think it matters whether Mayweather puts something up or not. You know what I mean? Because if he loses, he still loses.
But it's not official, so it's not like he really lost anything.
Man, do you see how crazy these people are on Twitter?
Oh, I know. On Twitter, they'll go ahead and have a meme. They'll put the Simba on him and all of that.
Bruh, Skip Bayless will have a fucking field day, bruh. He will have a field day with
true.
this.
I mean, but then again, he could easily come back and say, hey, look, it was an exhibition. This was all for show. This is so that you guys can have a part 2. You know, I know Mayweather likes to troll right back. I don't think he'll lose, though. That's the thing. I don't think he will, even if it is an exhibition.
I agree.
But if they can get the money and it's nothing official and they can still get that kind of money, I mean, man, that's easy money.
It probably would be one of the biggest fights in boxing history. It might be, as far as money wise. But yeah. I still don't want to see it. I'm not trying to see these nothingness fights. Like, it's nothing. Like, Conor just wants to fight. He just wants to go all the way to the top just because he feels like he's the best now. But you still lost 3 times. And compared to Mayweather, who lost no times, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I always felt like dude had this sense of entitlement, man. He feel like he's bigger than the sport. He's bigger than what he really is. I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, if you learn nothing, boy, you better learn from Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey got humbled quick.
What is she doing? What is she doing right now? Because
she's still recovering.
They shoved a rocket up her ass and tried to shoot her straight to the moon.
She about to fight, but she said she only got like 2 left.
Yeah, well,
so she said she's done.
She trying to be in Hollywood anyway. So
if she loses to Nunez, it's
either that or she going to WWE. Either or. So maybe don't be surprised if you see her there.
She might fight Mayweather. They've always talked about it too.
I remember, that was the first thing when Ronda was on top. When Conor McGregor was still on the come up, they were teasing that. And it's like,
man,
I already found that silly. No,
don't believe that. Come on, man.
Nah,
not at all.
I mean, what's funny is there was a lot of idiots that really said she could take down, and I've seen her take down dude. Man, that dude was letting her take him down. I'm like, that shit didn't work with Holly Holm. Like, what makes you think Floyd Mayweather, she ain't gonna get one hit off that dude?
Nah.
Nope. I don't think so either.
He's not gonna. I'm like, everybody, he like fighting women and shit. I'm like, come on, man, let that shit go. Like, for real, but
it would be a lose if it. Let's say it it happen for some reason. It'll be a lose-lose for him. What's he gonna do? If he wins, they're gonna say he beats women. I mean,
he's supposed to. He's supposed to beat him. Yeah, he's in the boxing. Like, again,
I see somebody mentioned Anderson Silva. It's sad watching him these days too.
That was my favorite. He's still my favorite UFC fighter.
Yeah,
but he's just old, man. It's okay. He's old. I just don't think he needs to fight anymore. Like, he gonna end up being at the point of Tiger Woods is with golf. Like, I don't want to see Tiger tarnish his legacy any further. I'm not trying to see Silva fight anymore, and this is real.
Yeah, it's time to call it one. It really is. It's tough watching the people that you grew up watching, struggle and get better. That's how it was with Mike Tyson. Watching him lose 3 straight fights and shit like that to dudes that he would have otherwise destroyed. So it's like, come on, fam. These dudes shouldn't even be in a ring with this guy. But when they don't have it no more, they don't have it no more. And in UFC and boxing, those types of sports, you can get killed out there, man, if you run into the wrong person and you're not on your A game. So I don't want to see nobody get hurt.
Yeah, these young dudes are hungry, so it's always gonna be that a young dude's gonna take your place regardless. Like, you can't be on top forever.
You see what happened to Brock when he wasn't 100%, and he ran in. Who was that? Kane.
Boy, he got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, he got his ass beat.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. But yeah, I don't want to see the fight. So I don't know about everybody who's listening right now, but I'm not trying to say it. It's not gonna mean anything. So
I said Roy Jones needs to stop. Roy Jones ain't fought in like 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but
yeah, he been stopped.
Again, but moving on. So if any of the people that watched college football, I feel like the playoff system was supposed to be implemented so that teams that were not in top 5 conferences, your Big 10s, your Big 12s, your Pac-12s, your SEC, and your ACC, if you're not in those conferences, you can still have a legit chance of possibly fighting for the championship. But it still seems like the college playoff system is the exact same way as it was before with the BCS system. You still have your Bamas, who is in the SEC. You got your Clemson, which is in the ACC, and then you got Big Ten teams. You got your Ohio State, and Michigan was in there, but then they got kicked out. And now you got Washington in the Pac-12. Like, it's literally the same thing. You just have humans actually choosing the players instead of a computer system. I still think
they're cheating. They are being paid or something. All right,
I gotta talk about. Go ahead, Siggy. Go ahead.
All right, because I'm a TCU fan. All right, TCU, whenever they first did this playoff, 2014, was ranked 3. They lost to Baylor by 1 point in like week, 5. It was some early in the season. They were clearly the better team than Baylor, but they lost by a last-second touchdown, and they got the extra point to win. We didn't think that loss was going to do anything to us because we still wound up winning. We tied the Big 12 or the Big 12. We were co-champs with Baylor. We were ranked 3, and then they come and say, "Well, since you lost head-to-head to Baylor, both of you guys are out now. We're going to sneak in Ohio State." So they put in Ohio State, and they wound up winning it all. So it looked like a genius part on their move, but they told everybody that it was because TCU lost head-to-head to Baylor. Now, 2 years later, Ohio State loses to Penn State. Penn State wins outright the Big Ten, and then
He mad, bro. He mad.
You still have Ohio State ranked 3? I don't get why Ohio State is in this playoffs. It makes 0 sense because their logic is if they lose head-to-head, which they lost head-to-head, they didn't even win their own conference. How are they in the playoffs? That makes 0 sense. Their logic is flawed.
I agree.
It should be, if anything, it should be Penn State. Now, if they want to punish them because of the whole, paternal, all that stuff, hey, but you should have said something a long time ago. And
they still on that shit?
Yeah, some people still are. Yeah, it's been a while.
Let that go. Yeah,
they do. Go. He's not even coaching anymore. Like it's done. But I agree with Siggy. Like what? What weight are you putting on the Big Ten champions? Like they won. If they won the Big Ten championship, why not throw them up there?
Exactly.
That just be like just common sense. But since Ohio State essentially didn't do anything to go up or go down, you just left them where they were. And Bama ended up winning easy.
TCU the same way though, because TCU finished number 3, and then they decided to punish him at the end or during selection. They dropped him to 5.
Right. Now you know the thing that happened some years ago. Remember when TCU actually went to the Big 12 because they were destroying everybody and they still didn't want to give TCU any justice. So they were like, okay, well, let's go to a Big 5 conference. They went to a Big 5 conference and you still beat everybody.
And they still screwed them over.
Yeah, like it still doesn't make any sense. Same thing with Utah. Utah did the exact same thing.
Yep. And Boise State.
Boise State.
Go to a power conference, but same thing. Yep.
So this year you have Western Michigan that goes 13-0, destroys their competition. What rank are they now? Like I didn't actually look it up to see what rank. I think they probably just passed the top 20. Like but that's ridiculous though. Like you have a team that wins right out, but then you have Bama that wins right out, and you don't even consider them for anything. You still keep teams that have 1 losses, 2 losses. And you're just shuffling them around like this is a puzzle. Like it doesn't make any sense. What is the point of the playoffs? And then people were saying, well, maybe you should make it an 18 playoff. It's gonna make it worse.
Nah, 14 was ideal. I mean, that's what I was under the impression they were doing. 4 teams. It should have been the top 4 teams. And I just feel like. The NCAA is flawed anyway. Y'all know these people getting paid under the table for certain shit. They want to see certain teams be in there and all of that shit. I mean, how many times you gonna see Nick Saban and it's like, come on, son. It's like I'm just not a huge fan of college football. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I like this better than the NFL and all that. I don't, because it just seemed like the shit is always staged. It just seemed like it's always something, man, to screw over a team that should have made it, and a team that shouldn't have made it, it ends up being in there. So I don't know. That's a corrupt. That's definitely a corrupt field, that NCAA. That's why I say that the best postseason tournament format in sports is the NCAA men's basketball tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Because on any given day, any team can get beaten. Every year, you always see these bracket buster teams and stuff like that. That's why I love that. I hated the BCS with the college football because I always thought that, it favored a team that just because they were in this conference, another team that could still either beat one of those powerhouses, they just never got the opportunity to. That's why I was always in favor of
it's still happening.
Of a tournament.
It's still happening with 12 knuckleheads in the room.
Yep.
Like you're no better than the computer.
Exactly. At least the computer was like less biased when it comes to that. They probably would have put, Penn State. They would count the conference title as something.
Right.
I just can't believe that they would put Ohio State knowing that they lost the head-to-head and not even win the conference.
Right. You weren't even in the match. Like, come on. You weren't even in the game, and you still get to keep your spot. It's ridiculous. You know what I think would at least solve a little bit of problems. Now, people are still going to be biased. The computer is still going to be biased towards your strength of schedule, which of course people can still figure out. Like you can actually choose. These teams and these schools need to work better to give these lower schools a chance. Like Bama. Well, I know Bama does, but it's really just a route anyways. But they need to do it more. Like I feel like these good teams and these conferences that are not top 5 conferences should have more games versus people that are ranked in these top 5 conferences to actually give them a chance. And if they lose, then it is what it is. If they win, then they should actually jump up. They should jump up way further than they normally would, because we've seen it before. Like I remember Houston, and I would think that Houston should actually be in the Big 12, but they're still in the AAC. Houston been destroying people.
Yep.
Houston is a very, very good school, and you see what's going on with them.
They destroyed Louisville this year.
Yeah, they did destroy Louisville. I actually liked Ward. I thought Greg Ward Jr. is a beast. I thought he was actually better than Lamar Jackson at one point. Lamar Jackson came through, and now, which we're going to get on that a little bit later, but I just felt like these teams need to get a lot more respect if you're not in the top 5 conference. Like the AAC is actually pretty dope. Like you had Houston, who's always been doing work. You had USF that did work, and because they lost to Temple, they didn't get to play in the championship. But they were still a very good school. And you see both of those coaches just went away. Now Taggart, he's the Oregon head coach, and the Houston coach went to Texas. So obviously they're doing something good.
Yep.
So why not give them a shot? That's all I'm saying. I feel like, again, going back to what I was saying, as far as what could happen to actually shake things up a little bit is you should probably not even do preseason ranks. Well, how about everybody just start off with a clean slate? I feel like that would be a little bit more fair. See where everybody is, like maybe towards the first half of the season. Then do your rankings, and then you can go from there. Because it's still going to be biased, but I feel like this would give these teams that aren't in the top 5 conference a better shot.
Yeah, it's almost pointless anyways to even do the rankings because everybody knows that they love the SEC. So whoever's on top in the SEC is going to be up there.
Which is
4,
generally
3,
Bama or Auburn.
Yep. The Big Ten, apparently, it don't matter who it is. It's going to be Ohio State.
Right.
Unless Michigan beats them, it's
Yep.
Ohio State because any other team can beat them and it'll still be Ohio State.
Remember when Michigan was shit? Like when they lost to Appalachian State, they went downhill from there. But now they're coming back because you got the Harbaugh brothers in there, and you got the Jordan sponsorship. So now they're a threat again, but still ended up getting kicked out. So it is what it is. But I don't like the system. It's still flawed. They need to figure out something else to do because obviously your criteria doesn't work. You're still a knucklehead. You're still super biased towards Bama. You're all on Bama's nuts. You're all on Ohio State's nuts. We basically have the exact same playoff that we had last year. The exact same.
It's really just two schools fighting for the 2 last spots because it's going to be Alabama and Ohio
State again, or maybe Clemson, maybe, but I doubt it's going to happen again. All right, so enough of that. Now let's move on to the NBA. Good old NBA. So we're not even halfway through the NBA season yet, but I'm saying a lot of people pretty much choose these 2 players for the MVP. So we have Westbrook, the triple-double machine, and we have James Harden, who with this new Mike D'Antoni offense is doing very well, actually, being a point guard. So out of these 2 people, if you had to choose an MVP today, would you choose Westbrook or would you choose James Harden?
It has to be Westbrook right now. Go ahead.
You said Westbrook?
No, go ahead, see.
Yeah, go ahead.
Westbrook by far. I mean, this guy's averaging a triple-double every game. What is he, 6 in a row right now?
Yeah, and he got like more than 10 total. Like it's ridiculous.
Season he's averaging it. We haven't seen these kind of numbers since I think they said Oscar Robinson, right? So
yes.
This is a historic, and the team we thought was going to be very bad because KD left. The team is still pretty good. So not only is he carrying the team literally, it's actually a decent team. They're winning. And he's just having a historical season. Now, don't get me wrong. James Harden is doing great, but let's face it, it's a D'Antoni offense. The numbers are going to be there for him, but he's still sloppy. He's not great defensively, etc. I know Westbrook's problems, he turns the ball over a lot, but when you're handling the rock the whole game, that tends to happen. And if that's his flaw, Harden has that same flaw also. So it has to be Westbrook. I just can't see anybody taking that from him unless LeBron and the Cavs go on a historic run where their record is up there with the Warriors were last year. It has to be Westbrook, in my opinion.
Okay, Flock?
I would say right now, if I had to pick, if the season ended today, I would pick Russell Westbrook because what he's doing, and the team isn't doing bad, but it's at the end, towards the end, 2 things that could change that is one, the Rockets end up with a much better record. OKC don't make the playoffs, so they like an 8th seed, and the NBA rewards MVPs with a team with a good record. They're not. If you don't make the playoffs, you have no chance of making MVP in the NBA. That's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's true.
And 2, he plays so hard that I'm just afraid that he's gonna end up injured. He's gonna burn himself out, and towards the end of the season, he's gonna play really bad or end up hurt because of the way he plays. Now, I'm not wishing it on him, of course, because he's probably by far my favorite player in the league, him and Damian Lillard. So I just feel like that those 2 things can hurt that. And James Harden is right now not, he ain't no joke either. And you can't sleep on Kevin Durant now. I mean, you got to put him in the conversation too. as well.
He's been in some conversations. Him and Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis he's averaging the most points per game right now.
Anthony Davis got to play more than 60 games a season.
They also have to actually win. They started off terrible.
That too. That's what I'm saying. For me to even consider him, like, I don't consider guys that's not on a playoff caliber team to ever win MVP, because it won't happen.
Right.
You could say, yeah, he's the best player in the league. He's one of the top 5 players in the league. We used to say that about Carmelo, but
I was just about to say that, yeah.
But he always he was always either on the Nuggets or the Knicks, and those teams always pretty much
like, yeah, you could be the scoring champion, but not MVP.
Nothing. Yeah, that means nothing. So, like I said, you definitely gotta put Kevin Durant in the conversation too, just to put him in the conversation. But right now, I would put Westbrook, and barring some type of injury or them not making the playoffs, that would be the only way I would put James Harden right ahead of him, because James Harden is balling right now.
Yeah, I would have to agree with both of you. I feel like I can't go against Westbrook. Like, he's doing historic numbers right now. Like, how can you argue against averaging the triple double? Like, in this era, especially, like when Oscar Robertson was playing, it was damn near easy. It was a cakewalk. But now it's definitely a little bit harder to average that, especially with so much talent that we have, and with all these rules. It's not as hard of a game. But you also didn't have like 7 feet people playing with a bunch of 5 feet people, how it was back then. So like that's really dope, especially with a point guard doing these numbers. Like, that's amazing. Like, he's playing out of this world, and he's getting like so many cosigns. I feel like the stars are aligning in his favor. I felt like low-key Kevin Durant did him a huge favor by going to the Warriors, because now you don't have Steph going off every night. You're going to pass the ball, and Kevin Durant is still going to average his points regardless. So in that case, like, you don't have to share that spotlight with Kevin Durant.
Sugar. Yeah.
Yep.
So I can't go against Westbrook, man. I think Westbrook, as long as he stays on his course, I feel like he's a shoe-in for winning the MVP this year.
Yep.
So, and a side note though, did you all think that Steph Curry would not even be mentioned this year for the MVP because of Durant, or did you think that he was still going to stay on this course and still be really in that conversation of MVP this year?
I think we all saw the writing whenever Kevin Durant went there, that it was just the team likes to share so much. I mean, look at Clay yesterday. Was yesterday 60 points? I mean, one day they all look like an MVP because the team is just so stacked. So
you're right.
I mean, KD is the most consistent of them right now, but that's just because they're all letting one person shine. Whoever has a hot hand, they'll give it to, and they won't have a problem putting their numbers aside to let whoever has a hot hand go. So I kind of figured it would happen. I mean, Steph is still doing really good though. I mean, it's not like he's declined or anything like that.
Definitely no pushover, but you're not going around just shooting crazy and like you're the only one who everybody's looking at. Like, you can do some good scoring numbers, but as far as everything else, like if Curry's going to get off, nobody else is going to shine that night, or at least not as much. Kevin Durant's still going to get his 18 to 20 points a game. Clay is going to end up being on the back burner because Clay, besides that 60-point game, which was absolutely ridiculous, by the way, Clay has been very, very quiet. Clay has been super quiet. And I knew that was going to happen. I knew that Clay was going to take the back burner, but I didn't think that Steph was going to dial back as well as much, or at least not to be in the talks of the MVP.
I'm kind of more shocked that Steph's assist numbers aren't as good as I would have thought.
They should be lights out.
I mean, if Harden is averaging this much assists and with this Rockets team without really a second option, I mean, who is it? Ariza? I mean. And he's still getting good assist numbers. I'm shocked that Steph isn't getting those kind of numbers with these players. That's the part that's really shocking to me.
You gotta think, man. You gotta think. Draymond Green handles the ball a lot too, so you gotta think he's a triple double waiting to happen as well on any given night too.
Yeah, that's true.
And then also, I think to answer the original question, Steph Curry, if he's like I would hope he would be on a mission this season. To just be like, yo, we went 73-9. We blew a 3-1 lead. At this point, I just want to win. I don't care about winning MVP. I don't care about hitting 400 threes in a season this year. I just want to win. And that's how, I mean, if Kevin Durant is our best ticket to doing that, then I'm going to ride that hot hand. If, hell, if Andre Iguodala one night is the best way for us to win that, then I'm with that. So I would just hope that like you said, the assist totals probably could be better or whatever, but you got to think that team shares the ball so much that everybody touches the ball. So I pass it to you, you pass it to Jay, Jay pass it back to me, and I hit it. It doesn't matter who's playing point guard, as long as you found the open man and the open man knocking the shot down, and that's what that team does. Yo.
Yeah,
so
and that's
I don't think
exactly
they really
why.
care.
That's exactly why Curry doesn't have those assist numbers, because they're like he passes the ball to one person, and then there's always somebody else open. Clay's going to get open,
they run
or
a
Durant's going to make his own
offense.
shot. Yeah, so that's what they do. So that's exactly why.
Are you impressed at all how much they've gelled us quickly? Because even when LeBron went with the super team in Miami, you know, everybody was talking about, you know, they were struggling a little bit. What would they start off 9-23, was it, or something like that before they turned it on? Or maybe
I don't think it was that bad. But it was.
They started off like 9-8, and then they went on like.
Oh, was it not? Oh, I thought it was. I thought it was worse than that.
No, they started off like 9-8. They were never a bad team. They just, like I said, they just came out losing games because they just had to learn how to play with one another. All you have to think about now, they just pretty much added another guy to the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Those other guys know how to play together. And Kevin Durant is not a selfish player. Kevin Durant went over there because he wanted to just win. He didn't care about having to take the last shot. He didn't care about having to score 40. He just wanted to play within the flow of a team element game. A lot of people hated him for that shit. Would I have done it? Absolutely not. I wouldn't have went to a team that I blew a 3-1 lead to. I wouldn't have went over there and played. I want to beat them, but that's just the cloth that I'm cut from. Yeah. That's why a lot of the older NBA players, you know, had the problem with what he did as well. So, but I don't want to let the record skip on that either with him, Kevin Durant.
Also, though, I think the one of the things everybody was mad about KD, besides jumping to the Warriors, which was a stacked team, was the fact that he had a good team. It's not like LeBron at least had a bad team that he left. You know what I mean? Cleveland was not good without him, and he proved that when he did leave. I think they had like 8 wins only the next season, right? Something.
Yeah, did not go to the playoffs one time.
Yeah, definitely not. But Durant had a good team that almost beat the Warriors. I mean, they were one game away, right? So,
exactly.
So it was. It's just that he left a team or a situation that he should have rode it through. At least that's what everybody thinks. You know, he had a good team. They were on the cusp. They pushed Warriors to the limit, and he still left for them. Yeah, so I can see why a lot of people are mad about that, more so than the LeBron situation.
To answer your question, I initially did think that they were going to struggle a little bit. I thought that they would take them a while to find themselves. But looking at those preseason games, I was like, nah, they're doing it a lot. Like, it was just ridiculous how they were playing in the preseason. So
then they lost that first game to the Spurs by 29, right?
Yeah, they've had their streaks. Like they got whooped by the Lakers this year. They got destroyed by the Lakers that game. There was so many Laker fans that were happy as hell. So like they'll have their moments. They'll have their moments, but then they'll turn around again. Clay scores 60 or Steph scores 45 one night. Like it's still back to the same old show. Like if they get off, they get off.
That team.
Yeah, pretty much. One person gonna get off regardless, and they gonna keep feeding them the ball, just like I said. So I did initially think they were gonna struggle, but it looks like they are right at home. The only thing that the Warriors really lost was their bench because they gave away so many players, so many actual role players. But I mean, as long as their starting 5 stays good, I don't really see a problem.
There's some Clay slander in the chat about Clay not being in the playoffs. No, the thing is though, that happens a lot. Look at Harden. Where was he at with the Thunder? I mean, he disappeared. I mean, he actually disappeared in the playoffs with the Rockets too, right? So
them Rockets, like the past 2 years with their playoff runs was ridiculous.
Didn't they blow a 3-1 lead? Oh no, they won. They took over a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, they took over. Yeah, that was a very ugly playoff series. Very, very ugly. But moving on. All right, so if you all did not know, I am still a Rams fan, tried and true. It's the only thing I know.
You're
so
Bucks now,
sue
right?
me. I am a Bucks supporter. So if they get far, I'm gonna be cheering for them. But the Rams, that's who I love. So of course they moved to LA. A lot of people thought that I wasn't gonna like them anymore, but no, I still like them. But the one thing that I did not like, besides Sam Bradford, which we let him go, so that was the main problem that we had. And now the main thorn in my side is this man Jeff Fisher. Now Jeff Fisher, if you're not aware, this man has right now the second most losses in NFL history. Let me say that again. He has the second most losses in NFL history. This man did not win with the Titans. He is not winning with the Rams. So, last Sunday, this man, while losing, we find out the news that this man not only has the second most losses in NFL history, he gets a contract extension until 2018. What the fuck are they smoking? What does Jeff Fisher have on either the GM of the Rams or the owner of the Rams or somebody in the owner's organization for the National Football League? What is it that this man has? Because you cannot tell me that in a system, like, we live in a society that it's not even just football. Basketball, we see coaches get fired every day. NFL football, we see coaches get fired every day. NCAA college football, we see coaches get fired every day. Even soccer, we see coaches get fired every day. So how do you tell me that a person who has lost that much gets a contract extension and he's still not winning? Like, the Rams are like 4-8 right now. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this man is known for going 8-8 or 7-9 or 2-12. Like, I mean 2-14. Like, I don't understand. I do not understand. How do you give someone a contract extension? So,
and just to make you feel a little better, they did give a vote of confidence to Chip Kelly in San Francisco. So even he must have something over somebody, because they're not going to fire him either.
Man, Chip Kelly still don't have that many years in the NFL under his belt, and he's shown that he can at least win. He can at least get to the ship. You know what I mean? What ship has Jeff Fisher gone to? He didn't win.
Sure, he could gut a team too.
He didn't win that 1999-2000 Super Bowl, if I recall. that was my team. That was Mike Martz. He lost that. He actually lost that.
That's his fame right there.
He took another L. He took another L by the team that you ended up getting picked up on years later. Like, I don't understand, man. Like, it's tragic. It really boggles my mind. Like, is there anything that you all can think of as to why the Rams are allowing this to happen? Because Jeff Fisher, while he's a nice guy, or at least he seemed like a nice guy, he just seems like he doesn't care about anything. Like, he always has the same face. This man could not even find his challenge flag when we were facing the Patriots.
I saw that.
That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing, people. Like, I don't know how someone who can be so incompetent can do this. Like, I really want to know, what is it that this man has?
I have a theory. Go ahead, Flush. You go first.
Okay.
Isn't he like related to somebody that's somebody in front office or something?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I think that's his son or somebody. It's somebody up there.
So I mean, you got to put nepotism in there. I mean, just call it what it is. You got to put nepotism in there.
See, he's one of those people that, like, in any, like, corporate office job, if you know somebody, you'll end up getting up there higher, or you'll get the, it's like that situation.
Because I mean, what did he do when he was in Tennessee?
Nothing.
That one Super Bowl run.
Just that. That's the only thing.
I'm not even talking about 16 years ago. I'm talking about, like, within, because any sport, especially when you're a head coach, it's a what have you done for me lately business. Right. So what has he done lately? I mean, he hasn't shown to do anything other than lose a bunch of games. So I just don't think that being a head coach is what he needs to be doing if he hasn't won he hasn't won anywhere.
You sitting up there trading our picks to get freaking Jared Goff. You go up to number 1 to pick Jared Goff, and then you don't play him. What is that? What type of world are we in right now, where you trade up and you do not even play your number 1 player that you picked up? What type of sense does that make? These are just bonehead decisions. He is a bonehead coach. He needs to go.
I mean, I know it hits you closer to home than it does me,
bruh.
But I can feel the frustration in your voice, man. But I mean, you just gotta call a spade a spade. I mean, he's definitely in the good graces of somebody that I mean, he's an under 500 coach in the NFL for the past 10 years.
Yeah, it's been longer.
I mean, how does he still secure a coach job? Like, look at what was that dude name that was coaching the Colts, like right after Peyton Manning left?
Chuck Pagano?
No. It was.
Oh, you're talking about Caldwell?
The black dude, Caldwell. You see what happened with him, right?
Yeah,
they moved him right. They moved him right on out of there, and then he's probably like an assistant somewhere now, right?
I think Detroit. Was he still there? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. And he was an assistant, and I mean, at some point they worked their way back, but I just feel like he should have he should have been in some other form of capacity and not being a head coach right now. Because I mean, he just shouldn't. He shouldn't be a head coach right now.
No,
he does seem to be disengaged a lot when I see him. He like JG said, he seems like he doesn't care. I look at him and I get that same vibe. I just feel like he's just not engaged sometimes. And he has this old school mentality, which isn't a bad thing, but I mean that works for some people. I mean, it worked for Tom Coughlin because he got 2 Super Bowls out of it, but it doesn't work for everybody. So
yeah, like it's cool. I understand he's a defensive coach. He was a part of that historic defensive Bears team back then in '84 and '85. That's cool. Okay, you know Mike Singletary. Okay, you brought him in. I understand. Our defense is a beast, but first of all, they're undisciplined. We're probably the most penalized team in the NFL right now, if not second or third. Like, we're always in the top 3. And overall, we still don't win. Like, our offense has been shit for a while now. And like I said, Bradford was the main reason because we paid him $50 million to do nothing, to keep getting hurt. So we finally let him go. You pick up, I can't even think of his name now. Dude from Philly, you traded him. Nick Foles. You traded for Nick Foles, and then Nick Foles all of a sudden becomes shit. You let him go, and you let Case Keenum play for a little bit. Case Keenum is alright. Now, he came from Houston, and I know the historic things he did there, but Case Keenum is just a good backup. I don't think that he's a good starter. And then all of a sudden, you trade up to your number 1 spot just to get Jared Goff, who I don't think was worth it. I would have picked Carson Wentz, if we were being completely honest, or even Dak Prescott, because Dak Prescott is a sleeper. He ended up getting picked up in the 4th round. And like, you do all this and then you still decide to not play him, and we're still the same team, actually even worse, because our O-line is shit. Ty Gurley is a no-show, and you still don't have anybody to really throw the ball. So like, overall, like, it's not showing me anything. And to the world, whether you watch or don't watch the Rams, you know that the Rams are gonna ram. So who's the problem? who is the problem here? It's the coach. All right,
here's the thing. I think that he still technically had this season and next year on contract, and they extended him after that, right? 2 years or whatever.
They said with 2 years, yeah, until 2018. So yeah.
Yeah. So he also, 17 and 18. It was so they added. Oh no, I guess he didn't. So this was his last year.
Yeah,
then,
it
right?
was supposed to be his last year. Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is that he had some back money, some money that was backloaded into the contract that they couldn't just cut him. Another thing, since the move with LA, they could have triggered some kind of bonus. Also, Goff, the pick, since he's a rookie, maybe they want to see what he does with him in a full season. But I do think that if the Rams are horrible next year, he'll be fired. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
You got to, like, you can't tell me. I know that the Rams are, historically a bad team, even in LA. Like, they didn't really win much in LA, and their claim to fame was Eric Dickerson, which he even getting into it with Jeff Fisher. He said he ain't even coming to another game until Jeff Fisher is gone. Like, that's wild.
The worst thing that's going to happen for UJG though next year is if they do go 8-8, because that means they're going to say it's an improvement.
Oh my goodness.
And they're gonna give him another shot. That's what happened. That's what he's the master.
He does enough
of.
to get by. Yeah, he does just enough to get by.
He will go 3-13 1 year, and the next year he'll go 8-8, and everybody be like, "Oh, well, you know what? He turned it around."
That's a 5-game improvement.
Yep, he turned it around. Oh, we got to give him this chance, and then what happens the next year? He'll go 2-14.
I am not trying to hear that. I think that the Rams, with this situation, with this new stadium, which it looks like it's going to be freaking huge, I think that will be a great market. I mean, it's in LA, man. Like, who wouldn't want to actually coach or play in LA? Like, it's freaking LA. I mean, I know that the Lakers are, have been falling off, and a lot of people may want to play for them for a minute, but I feel like with the new stadium, a lot of people would want to come there. I feel like they can make a case for getting someone good, someone from maybe college, for example. They could come up and maybe be a better coach. Like, I think anybody could be a better coach than Jeff Fisher now. Like, let's just be honest. But I just feel like they're making bonehead decisions. Like, I don't want to see him ride it out. I just want to see him going. Like, cause y'all let everybody else go with these other teams so quick. You don't even give them a chance. We gave Jeff Fisher like 10, 12 years of chances. I'm not trying to hear that. So he needs to go, bro. He needs to go. I'm done talking about it. It's making me mad.
You might get Pete Carroll. Who knows? Maybe he'll get tired of Seattle and go back down to Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah.
You think he gonna leave that
Hell no, he ain't leaving the Seahawks.
Not anytime soon, but whenever that inevitable decline has to come at some point.
I don't know. I don't think he gonna want to do that. I wouldn't if I was him.
Hell nah. Hell nah.
That's his home though, man. LA. You know he loved down South California. He loved it.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
He does.
in college when he was dominating.
Before that
NFL,
controversy came
yeah,
up.
about to say you in the NFL and you losing. That's pretty tough.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So
who really thought that Seattle was going to be like that? I mean, I think he's more surprised about it.
I mean, he turned him around. He definitely turned him around. I mean, they won the championship, so they're still a dominant team. They're still the best team in the NFC West. So, but staying on the topic of the NFL, who would you choose right now as your NFL MVP?
Ooh, I know Flock is not gonna like this answer.
I mean, it's the truth. I already know. I'm already gonna say it's Elliott, bro.
I think it's
Ezekiel Elliott
over Dak.
Yep.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
He's a workhorse.
Yeah, I have to give it to Elliott too.
Dak is a system quarterback. Come on, fam. He a game manager.
No, actually, I agree with you, Flock. I don't think Dak should get this
manager.
over Elliott. Like
No.
Elliott, first of all, shout out to St. Louis. He from St. Louis, so I fucks with you, Ezekiel. And I definitely
They
think we
running
should
him
win.
into the ground just like they did DeMarco Murray a couple years ago.
Yeah, but guess what the difference is?
They actually winning though.
Tony
now.
Romo.
No Romo.
No
yeah.
Tony Romo.
I mean,
y'all
when
hit
you
DeMarco
ever-
Murray,
when-
and he's
when
still
do you
doing
ever
those
have
numbers.
Tony Romo after week 7. He's always hurt.
Exactly.
Tony Romo is a Derrick Rose of the NFL. Like, come on.
So what do you think about Derek Carr? Because that's the only other name I could think of that's
I would
up
put
there.
him up there too. I would definitely put him up there. He's a stud.
Yeah, I like
that
what
Raiders
Derek
team.
Carr is doing this year. I definitely do. He has a good amount of weapons. Like you got freaking Amari Cooper on one side. Like it's ridiculous, man, what they're doing. Like the Raiders are good. Raiders are definitely
everybody talk
good.
about the Cowboys offensive line. Hell, the Raiders offensive line is probably like second in the league too.
Yes,
Probably
yes.
second best
Like number
offensive
1
line.
and number 2,
And
man.
they don't run the ball like what's his name? Latavius
Murray.
David Murray, yeah.
That dude has like 600 rushing yards, bro. That's half of what Ezekiel Elliott has right now. So that dude is gunslinging.
Like
That's
I'm
why I
looking
would
at
put him up
Ezekiel, man, and these highlights, like that O line is godlike. That O line is crazy.
Yeah, if you force Zach Prescott to throw the ball as much as Derek Carr, that team would not be 10-1 or whatever they record is. They would not just have one loss. They would have like 6 losses.
I think I can agree with
that. He had to carry the team one game. That Minnesota game, he really had to do everything to grind it out. I mean, I think he's shown that even when the chips are stacked against him, that he can show up. I think if Dak had to throw the ball 30 times a game, I think he could have decent numbers. I mean, if Cousins can have that kind of numbers with Washington when they depend on him throwing all the time, I think he can be just like that if they wanted to, but they don't need to. They have a great line, and they just have Zeke go run wild. So I don't think they need to. And that's the thing too. A lot of these QBs would normally, especially a rookie QB, would want to check down. He could catch Ezekiel Elliott, and they haven't even done that yet. So if he really needed to do that, I can just imagine what his numbers would be if they decide, hey, let's go ahead and run a screen game with Elliott.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there waiting on somebody to put Tony Romo or something in the conversation. I'm like, bro. I mean, not to, yeah.
Jerry Jones wanted to.
Yeah, do not say. I don't care how healthy he is. Do not put that dude back in there and ruin that chemistry that team has. And like we talking about MVP, do not put Tom Brady in the conversation because that dude didn't even play the first 4 games. So I don't want to hear Tom Brady name in it either.
Like Darth Vader is gonna do what he does. We all know this. He came out. He had a purpose. Like you see the Foot Locker commercial. That shit was no joke. That man was dead ass serious with that commercial. He was coming at the NFL's head with that Foot Locker commercial. Like that man was angry. He was angry, and he showed the Browns. Like so I'm serious. That was a terrible game. Tragic game, man. But like Brady, like I said, even without Gronk, he's gonna do what he does. Like there's gonna always be somebody that steps
Brady
up.
is like LeBron James, where every year you can give it to him and you will understand why, because he's just good. But
yeah, he's that good, but he's not. He can't be in the MVP conversation. Right
yeah,
now
because he missed
the first 4 games.
I can
And
see that.
The other 2 guys been out there every game. What about Dez Bryant, bro? Shut up. Come on.
That's the thing too. Dak was without Dez for a good
What about him?
6-7 games.
played.
Yeah, he went. Yeah,
He didn't have
Dez
all his
Bryant
weapons.
wasn't even on the field.
And let's not act like the Cowboys is not gonna turn into the Cowboys. After that bye week, they gonna get beat. The first team they play in the playoffs. That's what the Cowboys do.
No, man. I think the Cowboys have a lot of things going for them.
They run into the Lions, or somebody like that. The Lions will beat them.
And they need their defense is the only thing that their question mark is. But even with the Lions, I mean, they're not gonna stop anybody either on offense.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people.
Matthew Stafford throws a ball
I don't even think the Lions would beat the Falcons if the Falcons are there.
Their offense is again sending around throwing the ball. Like they throw the ball like 70-80% of the time. Like that's just their statistic. It's a lot of teams like that now.
My man has said we made a statement when we beat the Saints. I'm like, bro, that ain't no statement.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all beat the Saints. Everybody beats the Saints.
Nah, y'all made a statement when y'all beat Pittsburgh. When Cowboys beat Pittsburgh. Oh, you talking about? Never mind. You talking about Detroit?
No, you talking about Detroit.
That was a good game though. That was a good game. Y'all, because the Saints, yeah, they're just an offensive powerhouse. Again, another really throw first, run second type of team. So we know that Drew Brees gonna gunsling the ball. So that's really not. Yeah, again, it's not a statement either. But I mean,
one team that I think that could actually knock off the Cowboys is actually Seattle. I think
it's the Giants, even though they play so badly.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. If they run into the Giants, like we was talking about earlier, me and Siggy was talking about that earlier. He's saying like, you know, if they get a bye week and then that wild card game, say it's New York and whoever, and New York wins, and if they end up playing Dallas, I think New York would beat Dallas. And I also think if Dallas gets past that, Seattle will beat them.
It will be a good game. But then again, it will be at Cowboy Stadium, I imagine. So
you said, what about Murray in Tennessee? He's doing his thing, but, I mean, he's in Tennessee. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
He's in Tennessee. I mean, like I said, you don't put the MVP on. I don't know how they do it in the NFL all the time, but like I said earlier with the NBA, you put it on a team that's impacting a winning team. Like, I mean, I wouldn't give Tracy McGrady the MVP if he's the scoring leader in the league and he's on one of the worst teams in the league playing in Orlando.
Raptors.
Yeah, so I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that.
So it's unanimous with this. We would say Ezekiel, but Derek Carr would be a close second. That's what I think so far. As long as they stay the course, I think that's. I think it should pretty much go to Zeke.
And closer than everybody want to make it too. I would definitely make it a close second.
I agree with that, but don't sleep on Dak though. Like I watched Dak when he was at Mississippi State because he was in the SEC and Mizzou was also in the SEC. So I used to watch a lot of his games. And I knew that he was going to be a sleeper when he came in the league. And he did just that. Like, I watched the preseason game they had against us. I was like, yo, Dak is slinging this ball. Like, so don't sleep on him. He can throw the ball when he needs to. And I like the fact that he's a two-way quarterback. So he can run, too. So, again, like, with that team, man, like, that rookie combo was just crazy. I didn't think that they were going to be doing what they were doing this year. But it's ridiculous,
can you imagine now in a couple of years whenever they got everything under their belt, you know, experience and all. I mean, we saw what happened with Ben Roethlisberger whenever he came into a good situation. Russell Wilson, same thing. They come in a good situation, and everybody had the same questions. Oh, it's because their defense. Oh, it's because they're, you know, the team just, you know, they're just bus drivers. They just manage. But then them two quarterbacks ended up pretty good, right? I mean, Russell Wilson last year especially went on a nice little run.
I would say Ben more so than Russell Wilson.
Ben for sure. I mean, then again, they switched.
Because he's got a stud out there, wide out, that he could just throw it out there and dude's gonna go and get it.
Mm-hmm.
Russell though, he has proven now. I think, especially last year. This year, I think the whole team he's been hurt though. But
the key to their offense, is Jimmy Graham, fam. If Jimmy Graham is healthy and dude could get that guy in the game the way Drew Brees used to, you can't stop that team.
That's true. Baldwin needs to step up again.
Yeah, so
they need a running back though, man. That's the thing. They miss Marshawn Lynch. They need that kind of runner.
Thomas Rawls has his moments, but he's nowhere near Marshawn Lynch. Nowhere near Marshawn Lynch, and he's been dealing with injuries too. On top of that, so it's been crazy. And they let go their his handcuff too, Michelle. So
you know who we haven't talked about that normally would be in the conversation?
Who?
Aaron Rodgers, what happened to him?
Don't talk about the Packers, man. Don't talk about the Packers. I honestly don't know, man. Are we supposed to relax still? I don't know. We still supposed to be relaxing out here.
Right.
So,
relax.
Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy. Like, if you statistically, like, look at the records this season, like, there are only two divisions that are doing good, and that's the NFC East and then the AFC West.
Nope.
All the other
Never.
divisions, like they're pretty much like 5 and 6, 6 and 6. So it's ridiculous, man. Like the playoffs over the past 5 years have always been crazy, at least on the AFC side. But I feel like this year amongst the others, like it's really gonna go down to the wire. It's gonna go down to tiebreakers or who statistically scored the most points over the entire course of the season. Like it's probably gonna come down to something like that, because that's how Pittsburgh got through. That's how they beat the Jets last year to get in the playoffs. I was pissed off, yo. I was like, how the hell did they get past there? Man.
I'm still mad about it.
Yeah, right. Because the Jets suck ass. I don't know what happened to Fitzpatrick.
Jets with 3-9.
Yeah, now I'm looking at the quarterbacks, who to draft next, because
they had 4 quarterbacks on the roster, man. 4.
49ers are 1-11.
They'll beat the Jets this week, though.
Yes, man.
Watch. Kaepernick is finally going to get his first win this season, and this will be against the Jets.
It could be worse. You could be a Cleveland Browns fan, so
yeah, like they're always going to be the worst team, regardless of their record. I mean, 1 win is better than none.
0-12.
Oh my goodness! All right, so let's move on to baseball as the final conversation. So, since the last time the Triple Threat podcast even happened, I'm sad to say it, the Cubs, the Chicago Cubs, won the World Series after 108 years of not doing shit. They finally won. So
Back to the Future was close.
Yeah, Back to the Future was close.
It was a year off, wasn't it?
A year off.
They were very, very close, but they ended up winning. And now the Cubs are still making moves in the offseason. So I don't know how many baseball fans we have in here, but last year, in order to bolster their roster, they picked up Zobrist from the Royals, and they picked up 2 players from the Cardinals. And now they're still going after yet another Royals player. Now they're going after Wade Davis. So they're just trying to take all the Missouri baseball team players, man. I'm pissed off, yo. Fuck the Cubs. I'm a Cards fan for life. Fuck the Cubs, bro. Those are our rivals. I'm going to say that to the day I die. But amongst that news, also today, we had the Red Sox making moves, man. So they already got David Price. And now they picked up Chris Sale from the White Sox. So, like, this offseason is ridiculous, and guess what the Cards are doing? Nothing. I haven't heard of anything that they're doing. Like,
hey, don't feel bad. My Yankees aren't doing nothing either.
Yeah.
The Red Sox do all the moves.
Remember when the Yankees used to steal all the players?
This used to be the Yankees. Yeah, the Yankees would be the one that would say, "Hey, Chris Sale going to the Yankees. Hey,
new day."
Well, what's his face? Batista and Encarnacion signed with the Yankees. I mean, that's what it would be. If it was 10 years ago. But
right.
Hey, let's not let anything JG said distract you from knowing that the Cleveland Indians blew a 3-1 lead. Let's not let that distract you. I mean, I'm not a Cubs fan, but I am from Chicago, and that was huge for the city. And I was not gonna lie, I was happy to see the Cubs win it. Because, like I said,
let's go back to that game. Let's go back to that game with the rain delay and all that. What time was it? It was like what?
I had to work the next morning, so I had to go to bed. I stayed up until like the 9th inning or something. I was like, yo, I got to get up in like 6 hours.
That was I couldn't go to sleep. I mean, I didn't even have a team in this. I wanted the Cubs to win more so because their history over the Indians, even though they both had history of not winning. So. It was just a good game, though. And then when that rain delay happened, it was like, no, it's like somebody. What was that tweet that was tweeted around where they said that, the game's going to go into extra innings and the world would end? I mean, it almost felt like that really was going to happen.
Right.
It was just crazy. And then the way the game ended, you can't make that up. I mean, it was crazy.
It was a good World Series. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't expecting it to go out like that at all. So, besides the team that won, it was a good World Series. It was very entertaining. So
true.
I am looking forward to the baseball season, but I'm not, because my team is not making any moves whatsoever. Like, are we just gonna let the Cubs just steal all of our players and we're not gonna do anything? I don't understand.
Hey, you won the World Series a couple years ago.
Yeah, we did. And we're looking to go back. Like, we didn't make the playoffs this year. Like, that was ridiculous, yo.
My guys just got Chris Sale, so I'm happy about that.
Oh, let's talk about that real quick, because Big Poppy tweeted, or he sent it on Instagram or something, where he said, "You got me thinking of coming back, Chris Sale."
No.
What do you think about that, Flock? Are you excited?
Stay his ass retired. You did all that about you done, and people did all this, and they had this farewell thing. Just go out the way Jeter did, go out the way Kobe did. Just Not that he's on that level, but just stay gone, bro.
Now this is somebody that had 40 home runs at 40 years old or whatever he was.
Yeah, but I actually watched him lay an egg in the playoffs too. So
yeah, that's true. He did.
it's a wrap, fam. Y'all got swept by Cleveland. So
just enjoy yourself,
retirement,
Ortiz. Relax, Ortiz. Relax.
Yeah, just let it be what it is.
All right, Flock. So Sale, Price, and Porcello. Who's your starting pitcher in the playoffs?
Chris Sale.
You said that quick,
bruh. I'm in Chicago, so I see what this dude does, man. For the White Sox, he's a stud, bruh.
Oh yeah.
Remember how they started off the season?
I watched David Price become so unreliable, man, at times, yo.
Especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, I can't depend on him. Chris Sale, I've seen him do it. I haven't seen him do it in the playoffs because the White Sox have sucked the last 3 years or so. But Chicago's always been a Cubs town anyway. Like, even when the White Sox won in 2005, it's like it wasn't a lot of noise made about it. It was like people like, you live on the south side, most people are Cubs fans. You live by the west side or the north side, you're a Chicago Cubs fan. But I mean, when the Cubs won it, it was a lot more going on than when the White Sox won it. So this is gonna always be a Cubs town. But
did you go to the parade?
Hell no. I went to work. I'm not a Cubs fan. Like I said, I was just happy for the city. You know what I mean? I mean all the dumb shit that goes on here, I was just happy for the city.
I would if the Cowboys win, I'll go to the parade. For sure. I'm over here. I'll take my kid to it.
Nah, I ain't had time to do that. I had to work.
How many people showed up? What was it?
The Riggers ain't paying my bills.
What was the attendance in that one?
I couldn't even tell you, bro. I cared not. Once I heard that they won, and I was like, okay, good shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I was done with it after that. I'm like, okay, good shit.
Yeah, people that are over 100 years old ended up surviving to see that.
I would have loved to see a Red Sox Cubs World Series. So, I mean, who knows? We might
thought
see
it was going to be this year. I really thought so.
We might see it soon. I mean, Red Sox need to go get them a DH now. So
maybe next year.
Get him a DH. I mean, if Kyle Schwarber don't want to re-sign with the Cubs or they want to trade him too, we'll take him.
Yeah, Encarnacion's out there.
They'll find a way to make something happen. I seen the Mets overpaid for Cespedes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear? Let's talk about that since we're sticking with baseball. Did you hear Bryce Harper wants $400 million over 10 years? That's why. And
I saw that shit.
So this is how scared the Nationals were about it. They traded for Adam Eaton today. So that means they're really saying goodbye, Bryce Harper. So he's gone, or after this year.
I mean, even the Yankees won't pay him that much money.
What kind of money you think he's gonna get?
He's not gonna get A-Rod money.
You don't think so?
I don't. I mean, then again, Cespedes.
Yeah, Cespedes is close.
Cespedes is close to it. So I mean, you never know. I think the only teams foolish enough to do that would be
Red Sox, Yankees.
Yeah.
Maybe the Dodgers if they didn't have their balloon payroll.
Y'all better get y'all son to play baseball, bro. I'm telling you, them contracts are ridiculous in baseball.
Yeah, baseball make the most money.
That's soccer money. That's European League, Manchester United money right there.
Premier League, boy.
Premier League.
They ain't called Premier League for nothing.
Yeah, ain't nobody getting no $400 million, fam. I don't care who you are.
That is a ton of money, man. I can't even imagine.
200 maybe.
But 300 is A-Rod money, right? He got 300. 10 years, 300.
Yeah.
30 million a year.
And how did that work out for him? They got one World Series out of that?
That man's staying in Tampa too, low key. I ain't even know that.
He got it twice. He got a 10-year Texas, $300 million. Opt out of that, and then had the Yankees suckered into a 10-year, $275. Man, so he had $500 million.
This is making me mad. Let's stop talking about money. We ain't got that money yet.
GI money, baby.
Yeah, hopefully one day. But that's all that we have for tonight's Triple Threat podcast. Any final words, Siggy?
Nah, this was actually a good one. Can't wait to see what happens next, which is Rousey coming soon.
We gonna try to make this more often, man. Even if I had to take the helm, we gonna make this work. We just gotta get everybody together. Any final words, Flock?
Yeah, man. This was by far the longest one we've done. We typically breeze through these most of the time, but then again, everybody was on point. Everybody had good opinions and facts and shit they brought in there. I like that. It was pretty good. The chat was engaged at one point, so that helped. Yeah, man, y'all know how we do it. Appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure y'all check everybody out in the GI. You know what I'm saying? Go check out JG's YouTube. If you ain't following them on Twitch, follow that. Check out Siggy, all that shit. Go check me out as well. And it's like I said before, everybody in the GI crew, we gone.
Yes, sir. I'll holler at y'all later, man. Thanks for coming through to everybody who's catching this live. If you did not get the liberty of catching this live, this will be uploaded to the GI channel. You already know. Other than that, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.